thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to be with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Okay. So, before we start off with the nits and the grits of the topic we're discussing today, I think for viewers and for everyone, Santhush Gunatilake is actually a famous schoolboy cricketer, you say, the downs at Pete Wright and then going on and performing in the national level. So that's all that people know. Who is Santhush Gunatilake apart from that?
I think I'm a person who really enjoys spending time with my friends and family. So basically, you could call me a very social character, a very outgoing personality. And I'm also a dog lover. And I think my life's pretty much only cricket apart from that.
So, being in the stars of cricket, the roots is what I think we have to start if we are talking about this topic. So, where did the motivation come from to how to start? Where did you begin cricket?
So my father himself, he's a former cricketer. He has represented his school and he also played first-class cricket in the club level as well. So when I was a little kid, he introduced me to this game. And I think life is too short to be, wasting time doing something I'm passionate about. And when I did a self-evaluation on what I am passionate about, I think I realized my heart lies in between the 22 yards.
So it's your passion was always cricket from the time your dad introduced you to cricket. And I think for someone who is growing, who is starting off their stories, that keyword, passion, is what we have to look into always, right? I think speaking of your success stories and everything, so let's tell us about your success. How would you define your successes?
Well, I think it hasn't been an easy journey. It has always been a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs, I would say, because it has been a very challenging time in my life. Initially I had to balance sports and studies, and after that I had to go through a lot of downs, like I said, a lot of challenges in cricket, because cricket is a game where if it's going well, and if it's not, it's not. So we need to realize, we need to understand that we have to work hard, we have to trust in the process, and I think that's where I actually started my career. That's how I actually started my career.
I think so. Something about cricket is compassion. If you hear all the players from Sri Lanka, the big names, what they'll always say is that consistency of loving the sport is what gets you to where you are. On the note of lows, because cricket brings you a lot of lows. Even recently, if you look at the cricketing world, there's always some player going through a low and a lot of hate. But at the end of the day, it's how you deal with it. So, how would you define? How would you deal with these lows?
Well, there's this famous phrase which one of the greatest players, Virat Kohli, said, to quote him, failures are the most important things in our life. As success doesn't teach you much, it only moves your ego. So I think what he's trying to say is that we need to embrace our failures, we need to learn from our failures, and we need to make sure that we don't let our failures get into our hearts.
So I think there are what we have to refer to is that every great journey begins with a lot of failures. Like even Elon Musk used to say, your 10-year dream, try doing it in 1 year. You're going to fail, but you're going to get way far than what you'll do in 10 years. So it's about not just how we deal with the lows, but how we accept it and how we grow from it, right? So on that topic of growing from person to person, I think something a lot of people know about Santhush Gunatilake in the school days is that he was a spin bowler, and then when it went into under-19 cricket, it was opening batsman and opening pacer. So where did that transition come in actually?
To be honest, so at that time I was playing under 17 cricket, and I think our coach was Mr. Malin Vanapura. That is when I first started opening the batting for college. So before that, I was also a middle order batsman. So he gave me the opportunity to open the batting. And that same year, we went into the first 11 season, and 3 of our fast bowlers got injured. So we needed a fast bowler because there was that rule at that time, the first 8 overs we bowled by 2 fast bowlers. And he told me to just give it a try. And I picked up a couple of wickets, and that's when I realized, okay, maybe give this a go.
So pace was a transition of luck and then practice.
Yes, absolutely. It actually helped me in the future as well.
Yeah, I think talking about success, how would you define your biggest successes and achievements in cricket rather talking the topic of cricket?
My biggest achievement is obviously getting into the national team. I toured with the national test team in 2020-21 to South Africa. So that is one of my biggest achievements at the moment, and I'm still working hard. I'm still putting the hard yards to give a comeback to the team, and I think that's the moment my biggest achievement.
So how was it when being called up to represent the nation the first time when you get that call?
Yes, it was actually a bit surprising because I had only played 1 first-class season at that time. I performed really well in that season, and it was a bit of surprise. It took me by surprise, but I was really excited, really happy. My parents were also really happy, so it was a really good time at that time when I got selected.
So, on the note of pushing yourself, like pushing boundaries, I think that's the topic we're discussing today. So, how would you define pushing boundaries? Like, as a person, what took you from point A to point B consistently?
I think we need to understand the fact that the people around us are not our competitors, but our inspiration. And I think the only competition we have is our own self. So if we strive harder to be the best versions of ourselves, then we'll be steady in the process of pushing our boundaries and maintaining a really good growth mentality.
I think there's a topic that I share to all of my friends when they are going through something is that your biggest competitor is the person you wake up to and look in the mirror every day in the morning. Because if you look at everyone else as competitors, then at the end of the day, you're ranking yourself from other people's successes, other people's 99 yards, 100 yards, and you're still at your 20%. So why not rank yourself from who you were yesterday, right? So that's where you have to start, actually put everything to context of view. You have to be a bit selfish there, but that's where you will start as a person to grow and to seize the day. So on topic of people that surround us as well is inspiration, right? So a lot of people we look up to every day. It might be small names, might be big names, they can change your life. So on your note, who would you say your biggest inspirers were growing up and in the cricketing world, just in general?
Like I mentioned earlier, I think my biggest inspiration is definitely the people around me, my loved ones, my friends, my family. So I think with their backing, with their support, is how I get my inspiration to follow my passion, follow my dreams, and somehow achieve them.
So it's always the people we love that at the end of the day inspire us to be someone we are, right? Inspire us to fit in the world the way we want to, rather than the way people around us interpret us. So something else that we should be talking about is nurturing ourselves as people. So in note of that, how would you say you nurtured your mentality to go beyond, to push harder every single day?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Like I said, I think, especially when you're doing a sport, you need to always understand that with every good day, there's going to be always a bad day. So you have to really overcome that. You have to really face your challenges. You have to prepare yourself to face the challenges, and you do practice to have a mindset, a really positive mindset when you're doing sports. I think that's really important in your growth mentality.
Okay, so we wanted to start off a small segment from this episode, which is few rapid fire questions that I shoot and can go on and answer. Choose not to if you want to. But I have a few lined up here, and if you're ready, we can go.
Yes.
Okay, so James Anderson or Stuart Brown?
James Anderson.
Tendulkar or Kohli?
Virat Kohli.
Lords or Epsiode?
Lords.
Ronaldo or Messi?
Ronaldo.
Sangha or Mahela?
Oh, tough one. Could I pick both?
Pick one.
Sangha.
5-wicket hauls or centuries?
Century.
Shane or Murray?
Shane Warne has always been one of my idols. I go with Shane Warne.
Okay. So that's it for the main segment. So before we close, what would you leave behind? One phrase that always kept you going till the end, till today, is what would that be? A quote, maybe a saying?
There's this one quote which I think one of the greats of the game, MS Dhoni, said, and which I hold closely in my heart because I'm a big fan of him. To quote him, it's if you want the world to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself. You have to always trust in the process, because thinking about results won't get you the results. You have to follow your heart, take care of the controllables, because more often than not, the uncontrollables will work in your favor. If not, you will learn. So that is one of the phrases, one of the quotes which I hold closer to my heart, because MS Dhoni has been a really inspirational leader. We all know what he has done in the cricketing world, and I think that's the message I want to give.
Thank you for setting time out for us to discuss on this topic.